Most realtors fail. Why is that? National Association of Realtors came out with a statistic that 87% of realtors fail in their first 5 years of real estate. That means only 13% of us who've actually put in the time and effort to go get licensed and pay all the money that it costs to get started in real estate actually make it beyond 5 years. So what's the secret? What is it that they're doing right that others are doing wrong? The number one mistake that I see realtors make in this business is that they focus on the wrong things. Oftentimes, we don't know what we don't know. So I'm here to tell you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and really where you should focus your attention on when first getting started. So whether you are about to get licensed, newly licensed, or you have been licensed for a little bit but really haven't been able to find traction, the things that you should not be focused on, one is creating a realtor Facebook page. That is going to do zero for you, and unless you really know how to advertise and market on Facebook, it's not going to be beneficial. In fact, it'll actually get you seen less by the people that like your page than if you were just using your personal real estate, your personal page that you already probably have, right? So use all your personal pages that you currently have on social media. If you've been doing some crazy things in the past that you're like, oh gosh, I don't want people to see that, then go in and make some changes to that. But that is going to be the best platform for you to be seen, is what you already have in place. Secondly, do not focus on creating a logo or some fancy font or anything like that. The most important thing is to really get belly to belly, eyeball to eyeball, have conversations with people, really find out what it is that you can do in order to help them. Don't be salesy. I can help you buy, sell, and invest. Don't do that, okay? The logo will come later. Now's not the time for that. Focus on what you can do to help people right now. And then the other thing, the last thing that I see people doing is they want to attend all the real estate events that they have. And while that may be good, make sure that you're putting things in its appropriate way and like in its appropriate space. So when you start in real estate, there is $0 that you're earning unless you're selling a house, right? So you have to actually help someone buy or sell something in order to make any money. So you can attend all these events because there are plenty, whether or not they're put on by affiliates or by the associations or state, whatever that looks like. But at the end of the day, that is you networking with other realtors, and that's not going to bring about money to your pocket and your bottom line to help fuel your dreams and your goals for yourself and your family. What are the things that we should be focusing on, Kelly? You've told us all the things that we shouldn't, or at least a couple of them, right? The biggest ones, don't worry about those. What should you be focused on? Your lead sources. So there are various types of lead sources out there, and just because you see one agent doing something, maybe they're doing a couple of different things, it doesn't mean that they're finding success at it, and it doesn't mean that they are like they just started doing it either, right? So make sure that you're being very mindful of what it is that you are focused on. So don't look at what someone else is doing in their lane. Really focus in on what it is that you're doing, and what you should be focused on is identifying those different lead sources. There's both online and offline lead generation sources. Some of those being, let's talk about offline lead sources. So that may be open houses. Open houses, if done right, are a great way to generate some business. However, if you do not put the time and effort into choosing the right open house, making sure that you're marketing in the right way to really hit on different silos as to how do you generate, a future business, how do you generate the right now business based on the house, like really making sure that you're hitting on all silos to be successful with that, then it could be a flop. So if you're going to do open houses, go all in. And it really, when we talk about any of these lead sources, it's going to be really important for you to pick whichever one and go all in for at least 90 days. Like, that has to be the main thing that you are doing. If open houses are it, then you need to go and find every agent that will let you do an open house on any of their properties and book 5 of them a week, right? You should be doing open house every single week. You do that, multiple open houses every single week. You do that, you will find much success and you will become the open house king or queen, right? Commit to whatever it is that you're going to do for at least 3 months. What are some other lead sources? Offline lead sources could be FSBOs, which stands for sale by owners. And so whether or not that's door knocking or cold calling them, either one of those are really sufficient and can help generate some business. It becomes that you are the person who knows about the inventory on the market that maybe home buyers that are looking online may be able to know about, but a quick search on the MLS is certainly not going to yield those results. It is a little bit tougher to go after for sale by owners just because they typically are for sale by owners because they want to save on the commission. Although statistics show us that for sale by owners ultimately end up paying more because both the buyer and the seller think that they can save on the commission, and that's just not it. And it's also the most litigious type of sale out there. So it's the one that we see the most lawsuits arise from. Another way to generate leads is going to be expireds. So calling any of those sellers that weren't successful in selling their home. Don't just think about going back what immediately expired off the market. Go back 18 months, 2 years. Go back and see, did those people end up selling? Again, this could be a door knock, this could be a mailer, or this could be a cold call. So any of those things work as well for those offline lead generation sources. Then there's geographical forming. So what does that look like, Kelly? Well, geographical forming could be that you are choosing a specific area and you're going knock on those doors to meet all those consumers and really find out what it is that they love about the neighborhood, are they interested in learning more about the sales of the neighborhood? You become the expert of that neighborhood. Or it could be that you're going to send out mailers to them. And if you're going to do mailers, no matter what it is, FSBOs, expireds, geographical forming, you have to be ready to commit to that for longer than just those 3 months. You better be ready to commit to those mailings for at least 12 months in order to truly be successful. So the return on that is a little bit longer. Then another way that you can geographical form is those door knockings, those mailers, or by cold calling in that area. And there's different platforms out there, cold directory, polk directory, there's a number of them. And if you want to know more, by all means reach out. I'll happily share any and all of them with you. But there's different programs out there that you can go ahead and get some of this information for you to be able to have people's names, numbers, addresses, emails, whatever that looks like, right? Who their spouses are, different things like that. So those are some ways that you can generate leads offline. Now let's talk about the online lead generation sources. That can look like paid advertising through Facebook, pay-per-clicks, some buying leads from Realtor.com, Trulia, Zillow. Just be mindful that if you do the Facebook ads or Instagram ads or YouTube or pay-per-click, anything like that, if you're not doing it correctly, it can be very costly. If you know what you're doing, it can actually be a pretty cheap lead that you end up getting, but just know what it is that you're doing when you're doing it. What's the purpose behind it? Because even when we talk about all these different lead sources, there's a rhyme to the reason and the type of consumer and how you should approach the consumer and which silo that you're focused on. That's why you don't want to go all in on all things at once, because again, it's like putting, it's like I take this bottle of water and I'm like, oh, I give a little bit to you, I give a little bit to you, I give a little bit to you. Well, everyone's still thirsty because they only got a cap full, because that's all I could give my attention to hurry up and get everybody done as fast as I could, right? So instead of, I'm going to go all in, I'm going to give this whole thing to you, and then you're going to quench all of your thirst, know everything that there is about this. And that is going to help you achieve your desired results much quicker. So online lead generation, it can also be costly whenever you're talking about buying leads from like a third-party source, be it Zillow, Trulia, or Realtor. There's also so many others, right, that you can buy leads from. But when you do that, just know that the leads are pretty costly, and the return on investment, while it can be good, again, it's costly to get started. So even to buy Zillow leads in a really hot market, hot zip code, you might be paying $500 a lead, right? $1,000 a month, and you get 2.5 connections through that. It's pretty expensive as far as that lead goes. Even some of the best Converters are paying $120 a lead for any lead that comes in. So even more important to make sure that you are on point with your follow-up game, no matter which way that you're generating any of these leads in. Another way is just social media. Maybe it's video for you. One of the cheapest ways to get started in the real estate business is video. However, not many people are bold enough to do it. A lot of times we hear, I don't like the way that I look. Well, guess what? You look like that to everyone. So, like it or not, that's how you look in person, in real life, on camera, whatever. I don't like how what I sound like. Yeah, well, again, that's what you sound like in person, over the phone, or on video. You all sound the same. So really just whatever the goal is, whatever online source, offline source, whatever lead source it is that you choose to do, really go all in with it. The reason video, for me personally, I love it. I didn't at first, and it took me a while to get comfortable on video and speaking, but I ultimately love it because it allows people to get to know who we are. They get to hear how it is that we speak. We can come off as educated or uneducated. We can come off as funny or, maybe a little bit more I don't want to say uptight, but whatever that looks like, right? And automatically, people are either going to be attracted or repelled to us. And either way, it works for me personally, because if someone is repelled from me, then great. That means they're not going to pick up the phone and call me. And we probably would have clashed at some point in time. They wouldn't have liked that I'm pretty bold and brazen in how I am, both in person and whenever I'm working with clients or coaching. I am very much straightforward, to the point, right? Not everyone likes that. Some people like a little bit more fluff, and that's okay. They should go find someone who has more fluff, because that's going to work better for them. And so wouldn't you want to be able to work with those people who are just naturally attracted to you in some way, shape, or form, because they can see your personality, right? With video, we can see and hear, like we really get a feel for that person. You can see I talk a lot with my hands, right? So even if you're brand new, just starting out, and you're like, I don't know a lot of things, you know what? You just got finished with schooling. You could actually be the realtor who walks people along the path of what it looks like behind the scenes and what that experience is like when you're fumbling at the house, right, to get the keys. Like, you don't have to do it right there on the spot, but you can absolutely catapult on that. It makes it very real and relatable. Or, hey, I just got finished showing this house, and this is what this looks like. And oh my gosh, what are some cool features about the house? Just some little clips. Or, hey, did you know about homestead exemption? Hey, did you know about this? As you learn things, post about it. Become the expert advisor in your area to attract your people. So again, open houses, expired listings, for sale by owners, geographical forming, mailers, cold calling, paid third-party lead sources are all some different ways in which you could create a successful real estate business. I hope that you have found this valuable. If you have any questions or want to dive deeper into what any of these silos look like, please don't hesitate to reach out. I am here and want to help serve and support you at the highest level to ensure that you become one of the statistics of that 13% that makes it well after the 5 years of being licensed in real estate. You guys have an amazing day.